Thank you very much, Vineet, to you and to the Economic Times for having invited me once again this year. I think it's important for us to realize that the process of structural reforms in India still has a very long way to go. I think it's extremely important that when you get onto a path of reform, you know what the direction is. And under no circumstance must you ever deviate from that path. The second important fact to remember is that there will never be a finishing line, there will be always an ongoing process which will go on. And I think each of these decisions, when it fans itself out in the long term, will have a very important role to play. Both under the direct tax and indirect tax regime, we are in India today providing to people the lowest tax rate anywhere in the world so as to incentivize them to get in. And therefore, you nudge people to try and get into the structure itself. Today, even in the indirect tax structure which has been created, the GST Council, which comprises of elected people of all state governments, almost every political party is reflected. A trader up to a 1 crore turnover has to pay 1% tax. If you're a manufacturer, you pay 2% tax. It will take time for this to percolate in. But then the long-term impact of this, if you see, in the first 3 months, the number of people who've registered themselves have actually increased by 40%. At the end of the day, what you've already achieved is the fact that you've consolidated all these taxes and cesses into one. You've created India's first federal institution. You've made sure that the institution works on a pattern where it takes decisions by consensus. We've created a situation where all the checkposts are already gone. We've created a situation where not a single inspector has visited anybody at his homes or his offices. You only have to address the software. And if you honestly address the software, then you'll probably never have an interface with an official all your life. And then when the next steps are implemented to make sure that you're trusting people, but make sure that they live up to the trust, there will be some noise. There will be some grievance, because you got used to the idea that I can survive without paying taxes. In fact, paying taxes is always a fundamental duty of every citizen. It's a patriotic duty to be a part of that structure rather than be outside that structure. And I think it's only then that the implementation really will show its larger and long-term impacts as far as the economy is concerned. I think on the banking side, our banks had lent excessively. And while they were lending excessively, we were, through the various restructuring processes, evergreening those loans. And really till 2015, nobody knew what the real picture was. The real picture was hidden below the carpet. And no economy really can survive if the main source of finance is in such non-transparent positions itself. So therefore, we've announced a program for the recapitalization itself. And I think both the markets, the investors, and globally, it's something which is going to be perceived in the right direction itself. The whole idea of making the economy a much cleaner economy. I think I was quite used to listening to comments that you are doing a lot of things, but these are incremental, these are not big bang. And these days I hear a comment, why are you doing so many of these all together at the same time? So one of the great lessons I have learned in this is to just read what you write, but not act on it. Because if we started acting on it, then we'll be changing our positions almost like the editors do or the columnists do. And that's something which is not necessary. In any case, thank you very much, Vineet, for your invitation and for the honor.